really just goes to show that Jeremiah was telling on himself in this moment. Let's talk about it. And another moment where he tells on himself. Oh my God. Okay, if Jeremiah was not telling on himself that he knew that Conrad had feelings for Belly, right? Why would he say, I think that it's time we tell Conrad about us, so there's no secret? Why would he need to tell Conrad unless maybe he knew Conrad should know? And this is for two reasons. Either he's feeling empathy and actually has a conscience and knows, oh, hey, yeah, maybe Conrad should have a heads up that I'm actually now dating the girl that he wanted and I sabotaged his chances with. Or number two, he wants to tell Conrad because he wants to show it off. Now, I don't think that's what it is. I think that he genuinely is like, now it's time for us to tell Conrad, like, he's got to know now that I have Belly, we better tell him that you're, and also he did watch them the night before at the Deb ball, and you saw him, there was a look on his face when he saw them dancing together. He was like uncomfortable and he like gulped. He was like, okay, they're dancing together. So I think he wanted to tell Conrad as soon as possible that Belly was his girl. Interesting. Which is just so wild how much he's telling on himself here. And
gotta get to the club, right? So, what's with a good mood? I don't know, maybe I'm just happy to be alive after you almost blew me up last night. I said I was sorry. I didn't know you guys were out there.
Conrad calls him out and says, you almost, exact words, you almost blew me up last night. Jeremiah responds with, I didn't know you guys were out there. And then, of course, we catch him lying because we see him like look off into and we have the show creators to make it perfectly clear to the audience, to show you that you cannot trust the words out of Jeremiah's mouth. They literally do the work for you, and they show you the flashback. Jeremiah clearly saw both Belly and Conrad out there. He clearly saw them kissing, and that was his motivation for shooting off the firework. Okay, like they clarified that for you. He lied in this moment. So if he lied in this moment, what other moments was he lying about? Okay, but it goes deeper than that, okay? Because it's the word choice. Because then right after this, Jeremiah says, what were you guys talking about anyways? Jeremiah just claimed he didn't see them. Now, it seems like they had somewhat of like a passing conversation the night before, and we don't have access to that in the show to know, like, oh, did Conrad tell him Belly was also, like, did he know? What we know is this conversation. And from this conversation, Conrad only refers to himself. Single person. You almost blew me up. But Jeremiah tells on himself. He's lying because he says, I didn't see you guys out there. How would he know that Belly was also there unless he did see them? And then when he says, what were you guys even talking about anyways? How would he know that they were talking with each other and that both of them were there talking with each other about something that might have even been remotely interesting unless he did see them? He's telling on himself like all of the time. And this is why I keep telling you guys why this Rage Fest is just chalked up hypocrisy and deceitful lies. Because let's look at this from Conrad's POV, okay? Jeremiah says, you hooked up with me, then you hooked up with my brother. And everyone expected me to just act like I was fine, but I wasn't. Let us not forget that Jeremiah was the one who fully saw Belly and Conrad kissing. Just because their lips didn't, they were trying to kiss, okay? They were kissing, they were hooking up. And he's the one who moved in on her. He made the move. Belly didn't make the move. He got in the pool with her, told her something monumental when she was very vulnerable and her heart was very broken. And then he moved in and hoped that she would kiss him. And she did because she was feeling very vulnerable and confused. And this was all the day after he deliberately sabotaged his brother and Belly's kiss. When he claims to love both of them and they both really wanted to kiss each other, he sabotaged this. And then, like, the line where he says, how dare you, like, go from brother to brother? Like, he's the one who manufactured that whole thing. But then when he says, everyone expected me to just act like I was fine, but I wasn't. He feels so angry about this. And all of like, the Jeremiah fans keep being like, that's so valid. Like, yes, like, he always has to put on a face and act like he's fine. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay? Because even if that's true, where is this sympathy for Conrad season 1? Because that is what Conrad went through. And everyone, Jeremiah included, was so pissed at Conrad, so angry with him for not acting like he was fine when he wasn't. Jeremiah, like, undermines him about football. When someone makes a comment about how differently he's acting, he gets annoyed. He gets frustrated that Belly's obsessed with Conrad and always talking about him. He gets irritated and says, like, yeah, like, forget about him. He's just in a mood. Like, he's just, like, always nitpicking at Conrad about how imperfect he is. And then when he finds out the reason why Conrad was so hurt and upset the entire summer, his first reaction is to want to talk to Conrad about it. Then when he finds out that Conrad knew, and oh, the cogs are turning, this is why Conrad was so hurt the whole summer, because he knew mom was dying, then his reaction is total anger, rage, and aggression instead of, oh my gosh, that's why things have been so nuts for you. And this is what makes me so mad, is that scene I just showed you, he saw that Conrad was so happy. He's acknowledged multiple times, oh, Conrad's hopeless. Oh, yeah, Conrad's just in a bad mood. Oh, like, don't mind him. He's like, being so weird this summer. Like, he's made snide remarks about Conrad's mood, like, all the time. Almost every episode, he makes a condescending remark about Conrad. But then the moment he finally sees his brother happy, he deliberately sabotages him the entire day. And when he finds out by the end of the day that Conrad is going to go to Yarmouth with Nicole, you see this smirk on his face. Like, Jeremiah is very pleased with himself and very happy of his handiwork. And when he's with Nicole and Shayla and they're like, oh, Jeremiah, you're such a good brother, there's a moment where Jeremiah listens, receives that, thinks on it, and looks really uncomfortable because he knows he's a terrible brother and he's deliberately sabotaging his brother's happiness. Oh my gosh.